I think we should stay in the EU because it gives us fairer employment rights and fairer environmental protections. For example, if you're a worker, your boss can't fire you for paternity, pregnancy or parental reasons. The EU limits the amount of time you can work. So for example, the Working Time Directive limits you to 35 hours a week. Your employer can't make you work any more than that. Men and women are mandated equal pay under EU law, so you can't pay a man more than a woman for a certain job. With regards to the environment, there's cleaner beaches because there's EU laws on water quality. There's laws on pesticides such as glyphosate, which have been known to cause cancer. In some cases, there's a ban on that across the EU. There's laws on battery farming, so for example you can't put loads of cows, loads of pigs in enclosed spaces, you have to farm them outside. There's also a ban on cosmetic testing on animals, so you can't put oils and different stuff on their skin to see if they're irritant. There's also a ban on stuff like you can't trade dog fur within the EU, you can't trade seal skins. So there's a lot of rights for both people and animals, and that's why I'm voting to remain.
So I'm voting to stay in the European Union because we have 50% of trade with the EU. If we leave the European Union, we may be subject to their tariff, and what that means is that prices in the United Kingdom will be raised, which means producers will have extra costs. It may also mean that businesses leave the UK because of this extra cost of production. It may also mean loss of jobs then, as businesses are leaving, and because of increased costs they can't afford to keep workers employed. It may also mean that if we want to keep trading with the EU, we might have to sign up to some of their rules and regulations, but we won't have a say in being able to make these rules and regulations, so we'll be subject to their rules, but won't have a seat around the table to do anything about them. I also think we should stay in the EU because it provides funding for a lot of projects. For example, they provide subsidies to farmers, and they also provide some of the funding needed to build the Rico Arena. I also think we should stay in the EU because a lot of people complain about the human rights element of the EU, when actually that isn't part of the EU, that's part of the European Court of Human Rights, and we'd have to leave that separately, so it's not really a valid argument for leaving the EU, so I think we should stay in the EU.
I think we should stay in the EU. I don't know enough about leaving and to think that it's a good decision to leave. I've been watching all the Facebook videos and all the different arguments, and I just think staying in the EU benefits the most.
I think Britain should vote to leave the EU. Throughout history, Britain's done better in splendid isolation. The EU stops Britain making its own laws, such as national laws in the railways, which is very important in taking away railways from private companies who operate for profit. Britain in the EU cannot control migration, which is a massive strain on public services such as the NHS and the police, with a large number of people and net migration being negative rather than positive. David Cameron and the Tory party have lied to British people throughout history. Can we really trust them when they say we should stay? They could be protecting their own interests. It could be argued Turkey are in the process of joining the EU. David Cameron's their biggest supporter in joining, despite saying they won't be able to join for 1,000 years. Turkey borders with Syria, and Turkish migrants would further be a strain on public services, and the EU shouldn't really border with a country like Syria where there's a lot of trouble going on. And the EU, despite being democratic, is mostly run by Germany. I think Britain should vote to leave the EU.
I'm not sure yet am I there to leave or stay in the EU, because there are both good and bad points for leaving it, so I think they need to be clear on what's 100% going to happen if we leave or stay, because without knowing 100% what's going to happen, we don't know what the outcome's going to be for either way.
I'm not sure about voting to leave the EU or to stay in the EU. I think there's two sides to the argument that are giving very different reasons, very different facts about very similar topics, so I don't know who's telling the truth. One side will say how much money we're putting into the EU, another side will say a completely different figure, so I'm not sure who to trust. I want to know how I'll be affected if we leave the EU. I want to know how it will affect things on the NHS, how it will affect jobs. I've heard about the immigration and controlling that and how that will benefit us, but I need to see what it will really do for us. I think the main thing behind if I do choose to vote out will be I want to see what it does for us. I want to see how different it is. I want to see what we can get out of it. I understand how many benefits we get from the EU, like with trade and things, but is it really only the EU that can provide that for us? I think many politicians say about Britain's sovereignty, but is it different from what we're getting now? I don't know. That's what politics has become about, sort of Boris Johnson versus David Cameron, and we need to get rid of these personalities and these figureheads and just focus on the benefits or the negative impacts that it can have on us. So again, I'm not sure about voting, but if I don't vote, I don't get a say, so I need to make my mind up.